Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. The NBA officially returns tonight. We have 2 games to kick off the 2025-2026 NBA season. I could not be more excited to be back and talking basketball with you guys, but more importantly, I've got some really great picks to go ahead and share with you. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day, a new week, and a brand spanking new NBA season comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some mother effing money. Guys, welcome back to NBA player props. Welcome back to the NBA. Welcome back to Guy Boston Sports. This is my 3rd year covering NBA player props here on the channel. I could not be more excited, obviously, as you can tell, to be back talking NBA with you guys. It's going to be a great year. We had a very great year last year, looking to build on that momentum, coming into an even better year this year. To celebrate the new NBA season, I want to go ahead and do a little giveaway for you guys to celebrate the new year, to celebrate you and welcome you all back to the channel and back to the NBA player prop series. All you have to do, guys, is comment tip-off. That's tip-off down below in the comment section. And I'm picking one lucky commenter to go ahead and win a free $25 Amazon gift card. That's right. No conditions or anything. Just have to comment tip-off, and one lucky commenter win a free $25 Amazon gift card to celebrate the new year. So make sure to go ahead and do that, and please subscribe to the channel. We have tons of NBA content all year long between myself, Evan, Trey, as well as all of our football content and baseball content and all that good stuff. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. I have 4 player props for tonight's slate. We have 2 games, like I mentioned. I have 2 player props from each game. And I've been rambling for about 2 minutes now, so let's go ahead and dive into, for the first time this year, our NBA player props for tonight. All right, guys, the first game we're taking a look at here is the official first game of the NBA season. We have the Houston Rockets on the road against the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. My first official player prop, my first official pick of the new NBA season. It's only fitting that I'm picking this guy for it to be. It's SGA of the Thunder over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. He was the MVP last year, NBA champion last year. It's only fitting that he's the guy who kicks off the new season. I'll go on my normal spiel like I do, whether it be football or basketball or baseball. I'll make it quick. Guys, at the start of the year, we get excited. The blood's pumping. The sport's back. We're all hyped. NBA's back on. And you want to go ahead and bet big numbers. I get it. But guys, what I will say, and I say this at the start of every sports season, from a betting perspective, be cautious off the bat. It's a little risky here. We don't have a lot to go off of. It's a new year, guys. You know, SGA obviously same team, but a lot of different circumstances, guys. Early season player props are a bit tricky to go ahead and find good value and good winners. So just be cautious. I'm not saying don't bet. Have a good time. Bet responsibly, of course. But I'm just saying control your bankroll. Don't blow your load, so to speak, in the first night of the NBA. Be cautious and don't go crazy building 10-leg parlays out the back, guys. They don't hit often. All right, now that my little dad lecture time is over here, let's go ahead and break down our first player prop. So SGA over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. I'm grabbing it for -138 over on DraftKings. Best odds available to me. As always, guys, make sure to go ahead and shop around for the best sportsbook odds available to you, because what's best for me may not be what's best for you. Now, odds are a little high here. Obviously, we'd like it to be a little better from a value standpoint, but it's not bad. Now, like I mentioned, we don't have a lot to go off of. As the year goes along, we are going to really heavily use the data. If you watched my videos before, I like to use analytics and numbers to really make our plays here. For this case, we don't have a lot to go off of. Obviously, we have last year's numbers, head-to-head data, stuff like that, but obviously a lot of outdated information. So we have to take everything we see with a grain of salt. I do like the SGA line for starters from a head-to-head perspective, which is the key number I look at, the stat, I'm looking at here in the early part of the year, is what they did in the head-to-head department. Because, you know, if they had success last year, they should reasonably have success again this year. So SGA last year, very successful against the Houston Rockets. He played Houston 5 times last year, and he cashed the over in 4 of 5 games. That's an 80% hit rate, averaging 12 rebounds plus assists per game across the 5 meetings with Houston last year, including 4 consecutive. So really good numbers here for SGA against the Rockets. In general, in 2024-25, including the playoffs here, SGA had a 61% hit rate on this over. That's 61 of 100 games. He cashed the over, averaging 11.44 rebounds plus assists per game last year. We also have the insights provided by Outlier. SGA has exceeded 10.5 rebounds plus assists in 6 of his last 7 games at home. Of course, that's last year, averaging 12.9 rebounds plus assists per game across his last 7 home games. And in general, he was very good in OKC last year. Playoffs and regular season, all their home games last year, he had a 65% hit rate on this over, averaging 11.83 rebounds plus assists per game across 52 home games last year. So good overall, good at home, good numbers across the board here for SGA. Now looking at the defensive matchup here versus the Rockets, again, using last year's numbers, you see overall, they actually were a pretty good rebounding team and didn't give up too many assists. However, versus point guards, rebounding numbers was 10th, which is still solid, not as good as their overall marks. Their assist numbers were still very high. But you hear me talk about this throughout the NBA season. Sometimes there are players, and SGA is definitely one of them, where they can overcome the defensive matchup. Yes, the Rockets had a good defense, but remember, their team is in a very different circumstance right now due to injuries and whatnot. So I think SGA is still a pretty good bet here to cash this line. He did it consistently against many teams, many tough defenses, tough matchups in the finals, in the playoffs. Wherever you look at it, he did it. I don't see why he shouldn't do it again tonight. One last thing to note before we move on to the next player prop, guys, is that Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams, is out tonight for the Thunder, obviously recovering from wrist injury. Last year, SGA played 9 games without Jalen Williams. He cashed it in 67% of those games, averaging 12 rebounds plus assists per game. So if you're looking at that angle, how does the Jalen Williams injury affect SGA? From a numbers perspective, it didn't really affect him all that much. All right, guys, and sticking with this same game, we have Amen Thompson of the Houston Rockets over 6.5 rebounds as our second player prop in today's video. I'm grabbing that for -140 over on BetMGM. Best odds available to me. Again, from an odds standpoint, I would like better, but we're taking what the books are giving us. I also want to mention very quickly, guys, all the final plays will be down below in the pinned comment. So if you're following along, and obviously, you know, we have a couple different picks, you're jumping throughout the video trying to find what I'm betting on, or you just forget what I'm taking, down below in the pinned comment will be the final plays, as well as on our website, GuyBostonSports.com. All the picks will be posted there. Again, 100% free as always. So Amen Thompson over 6.5 rebounds. It should be noted right off the bat, and I have to acknowledge this, their lineup tonight is ridiculous. Obviously, the Fred VanVleet injury really affected Houston here, but their lineup is one of the biggest lineups I've ever seen. Amen Thompson is starting at point guard tonight for the Rockets. He's 6'7", and he's typically a small forward. Now, we're in the positionless era of the NBA, so no one really is what they, you know, Amen Thompson's a small forward. He goes play power forward, shooting guard, whatever. But him playing point guard is very unusual. Every guy in this lineup, minus Amen Thompson, is at least 6'11". Durant, Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun, Steven Adams, they're all big guys. It's a really crazy lineup. Obviously, injuries has forced them in this position. They don't really have a replacement yet for VanVleet. They're still trying to figure that out. So Amen Thompson is starting at point guard tonight, which is very intriguing because from a matchup perspective, OKC, the one weakness they had, they were an amazing team last year, but the one weakness, if you want to call it that, was their rebounding numbers. They were 20th in the NBA, giving up 44.9 rebounds per game to opposing teams. Versus point guards, it was even worse, 26th in the NBA, giving up 6.6 rebounds per game to opposing point guards. So when that's normal point guards, right? When you have a 6'7" Amen Thompson running the point, that number should be there. Now, the average was 6.6. We need him to get to 7. He should. The only risk there, obviously, is the fact that you have so many big guys on the court. Could he get some rebounds nerfed by some of these other guys? Possibly, maybe. But the numbers do look good. Head-to-head last year, he cashed this over in 3 of the 4 matchups against the Oklahoma City Thunder that he played in. He averaged exactly 7 rebounds per game. And the one time he missed it by 1 rebound with 6 rebounds back on December 1st against the Thunder. So pretty good numbers from an overall season perspective. A 66% hit rate on this over, 50 out of 76 games, He cashed the over, averaging 8.05 rebounds per game in total last year. So very good numbers there. And then the insights provided by Outlier. Amen Thompson has exceeded 6.5 rebounds in 10 of his last 12 games on the road, averaging 8.5 rebounds per game over his final 12 road games to finish last year. So really good numbers, an 83% hit rate across the board, really good data, good head-to-head numbers. Seems to be a pretty decent matchup spot. It's weird that Amin Thompson's playing point guard, but he's got plenty of opportunities. Even in the head-to-head department, I forgot to mention this. He had average of 15 rebound chances per game across those 4 matchups with OKC. So to me, looks to be pretty good numbers here. They're going to look at him a lot this year. So I like Amin Thompson's over 6.5 rebounds. Now, real quick, guys, I still have 2 more picks coming from the Warriors-Lakers game to close out the video. But I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Outline. You're going to hear about them a lot throughout this year because I use them as my primary sports betting tool of choice. Jumping back over to the Outlier screen, this is the screen I use throughout the year. If you watch my videos, I use it for every single video. It is the best sports betting tool on the market. And Outlier, honestly, has given a ton of updates this year to the server. I mean, there's so many more numbers. Now you look at the overall, like they have first quarter rebound stats, second, they have like break down the numbers by quarters, halves, all this stuff, positions. They have the lineup numbers. As the season goes along, you're going to see what previous players did against this team at that position. Like there's so much information that Outlier provides. I'm only giving you guys a tiny taste of it. The only way to truly experience it for yourself is to go ahead and try it. Check out the link down below in the description or the pinned comment for a free 7-day free trial when you use our special promo link. Outlier has been a fantastic sponsor of Guy Boston Sports for years now. I will continue to use them. I always say it. I know you guys probably think I'm bullshitting you, but even if they didn't sponsor us, and I probably shouldn't swear during an ad read, even if they didn't sponsor us, I'd still use Outlier. I'd pay for it and use it because it really is a fantastic sports betting tool. It's made me a better sports bettor, and it can definitely make you a better and definitely smarter sports bettor. So check out Outlier, link down below in the description or the pinned comment. 7-day free trial. All right, guys, moving along here to the Warriors-Lakers game. 10 p.m. tip-off tonight. Our 3rd player prop in today's video and our first of 2 player props from this Warriors-Lakers game is Steph Curry over 5.5 assists, which I'm grabbing for plus 127 over on Novig. So it's a plus money play. A lot of different options for tailing this one across sports books. And again, I will in that pinned comment where I put the final plays, I will also show you what units I'm putting. So whether I'm putting a full unit, half a unit, 3/4 of a unit, whatever the case may be, all of that information will be in that pinned comment as well. So Steph Curry over 5.5 assists, plus money play. Again, from a head-to-head department, and this is obviously the theme of these player props, looking for strong head-to-head numbers. Curry played the Lakers 4 times last year, he cashed the over in 3 of those 4 matchups against LA in the 2024-25 season. That, of course, being a 75% hit rate, averaging 6.25 assists per game against the Lakers last year. You scroll down below here to the potential assists per game. He averaged 10.3 potential assists per game, so pretty good numbers overall here for Chef Curry. Again, we need exactly 6 assists to cash the over, so not asking for too much here. Looking at 2024/25 overall, last year, Curry had a 58% hit rate on this over. 46 out of 79 games, he cashed the over, averaging 5.9 assists per game last season. So very good numbers across the board here for Curry. This insight provided by Outlier is really awesome. Steph Curry has exceeded 5.5 assists in 15 of his last 19 games versus bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. He's averaging 6.7 assists per game in that 19-game sample size. That is, of course, a 79% hit rate. So really good numbers there for Curry. The Lakers, obviously, last year, 21st in the NBA in terms of assists allowed to opposing teams. If we narrow that down to the point guard position, it's still in the bottom half of the league, actually bottom 10 in the league. They were 24th in the NBA last year, giving up 9.3 assists per game on average to opposing point guards. So it's a good matchup spot for Curry. He's had success against the Lakers. A lot of good numbers supporting this player prop here. And it's a plus money play, which obviously adds the value. We talked about the first couple of player props. The value wasn't exactly there that we're looking for. This is a plus 127 on Novig. It's plus 120 BetMGM, plus 114 FanDuel, plus 107 DraftKings, etc., etc. A lot of great options here. Really great valuable player prop for something that Curry cashed well more than half the time last year. So really good numbers. All right, guys, and our 4th and final player prop in today's video, again, sticking with Lakers-Warriors, we're going with Luka Doncic here over 7.5 assists, which we're grabbing for minus 139 over on DraftKings. Again, from a value standpoint, not the best value we can find for sure. But I do really like this spot for Luka. Now, I think a lot of people are going to be leaning towards his points, which I totally understand that. But I do think his assists a slightly better play. Now, off the bat, the data is definitely the weakest of all the picks I've given you guys in the video, but it's a little riskier, but I still like it. Luka Doncic head-to-head against the Warriors, for last season. 1 of 3 games against Golden State, he cashed the over. That's, of course, just a 33% hit rate, averaging 8.67 assists per game across the 3 matchups with Golden State. Now, the one time he cashed it, he had 13 assists. He was a member of the Dallas Mavericks, so different team, different circumstances. The first game where he only had 6 assists, same story. Different team, different circumstances. He did play them one time as a Laker, and he had 7 assists in that game back on April 3rd. So it was still kind of early in Luka's tenure with the Lakers, but he did have 7 assists in that game. Look at the potential assists, though. He had 15 potential assists in that game. So a lot of opportunities. He's averaging 14.3 potential assists per game against the Warriors across those 3 matchups last year. In total in 2024, he had a 45% hit rate on this over. Granted, it was a very weird year for Luka. He had injury stuff. He got traded middle of the year to a Lakers team that had LeBron James, so trying to figure out how those two work together. It was a weird year for Luka. Still, 45% isn't great, but it's not terrible considering all the external factors here. And he still averaged 7.49 assists per game last season. And the Warriors defensively were not a team that gave up a ton of assists, including to point guards, 6th best record in the NBA, only gave up 8 assists per game. So all these numbers, I'm sure you guys are asking at this point, why am I tailing Luka here? I mean, there really isn't a lot going, right? A lot of the numbers are in the negative here. So why am I tailing Luka? Well, the most important factor here is the fact that LeBron James is not playing in this game. That is huge because when LeBron is out, Luka is the focal point of the offense. Now, granted, I think throughout the year, this is Luka's team now. LeBron's in his 40s. Luka, this is the face of the franchise. Luka also, we don't know what skinny Luka looks like yet. What does that mean for him? Is he going to play better on the court now he's lost a little weight, better shape? We'll see. But without LeBron, this team runs through Luka exclusively. There's no one else to take away touches. There's no one else to facilitate the offense. Luka is the primary facilitator, specifically without LeBron on the court. Now, looking at the numbers last year, I put a filter in here on Outlier to show Luka's performances last year without LeBron James. Now, obviously, from an overall standpoint, the data is tough because this includes games, obviously, with the Dallas Mavericks. He didn't play with LeBron when he was in Dallas. So overall last year, when LeBron was not on the court with him, a 52% hit rate on the over, averaging 8 assists per game. But that pulls from some of the games during his time with Dallas. Narrowing the numbers down to the last 5 games, all 5 of these games, by the way, with the Los Angeles Lakers, you'll see a 60% hit rate without LeBron. He averaged 8.8 assists per game in these 5 games without LeBron James. If we expand the numbers, I'm pretty sure he only played 5 games as a Laker without LeBron last year. So this is literally all the Laker data we have for Luka without LeBron. So 5 games with the Lakers that LeBron did not play in, he averaged 8.8 assists per game. And you do see some big numbers there. 14 assists versus the Spurs, 12 assists versus the Nets. Look at the number of potential assists. 18 potential assists per game when LeBron did not play. But look at some of these spots. Phoenix, 23 potential assists. San Antonio, 25 potential assists. The key thing here is that when LeBron did not play, Luka's opportunities went through the roof. Now, let's go ahead and remove that filter, okay? We'll go ahead and take that out. And we'll just look at the last 5 with LeBron. So we'll put LeBron in here. All right, LeBron, who is obviously out tonight. Last 5 with LeBron. Okay, still not bad. 60% hit rate, but look at the average in assists, 5.8 assists per game. He had a couple of stinkers there versus Minnesota. So still cashing at a decent rate, but go down below to the potential assists. They dropped all the way down to 11 potential assists per game, capping off 14 versus the Timberwolves, 13 versus the Timberwolves again. This was the playoffs, I guess. So these are all the playoff series versus Minnesota. So let's go ahead and expand it to the last 10. Now, obviously a bigger sample size, but 3 of his last 10. Now you go to the bigger sample size here with LeBron James. 3 of the last 10 games failed to cash the over, averaging 5.9 assists per game. So now we have even more numbers to go off of. And again, the potential assist numbers remain the same, 11.2 potential assists per game. So what are we seeing here? Now, again, take it with a grain of salt, smaller sample size. But when LeBron's off the court, the potential assists, the opportunities for assists for Luka exponentially increase. That's what I'm betting on in this game here. I'm thinking that with LeBron out, Luka has to be the primary facilitator. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for assists. There's a reason why the books put this at minus 139. They're telling you, hey, the implied probability, this is a very good chance of hitting. Again, I know a lot of people are probably going to be leaning towards Luka in points, but I'm telling you, Luka assists, in my opinion, could be the better play. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment down below. We've got a ton of great NBA content planned for you all season long. Very quickly, I do want to go ahead and mention the schedule for my NBA player prop videos here. Not unfortunately, we're doing a ton of football content right now, but unfortunately, because of that, it's just too much for me to do every single day NBA player prop videos. It's just too much. So Don't worry, though. You're getting plenty of NBA content from me until about December when college football turns into bowl season. The number of games drops. I'm going to be doing Tuesday through Saturday NBA player prop videos, always dropping at 11 a.m. So 11 a.m., Tuesday through Saturday, NBA player props videos from me. So no NBA videos from me personally on Sundays or Mondays. Those are my days. Sundays, I do the NFL live stream, so my mornings are already kind of hectic as it is. And then Monday's my one day of the week where I don't record at all. It's my only off day from recording. So those are the 2 days until December that we won't be doing NBA player prop videos. Once we get to December, I'll either do a video on Sunday or Monday, depending on what I decide. But for now, 5 videos a week. Eventually, we'll upgrade to 6 videos a week, but just wanted to fill you guys in on that to let you guys know. But all right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much always for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow with more NBA player props, but until then, I hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and start the year off strong and make some damn money, baby. Let's go.